Hello, welcome back to my channel, and a special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Jen Clayton Beauty. We do everything beauty and makeup, and that includes buying lots of eyeshadow palettes, doing full tutorials, and testing them out. And today I'm actually really excited about the new palette that I purchased. It is the newest release from Adept Cosmetics. This is the Legand of Ardra palette. I am not a Star Trek person, but I heard that this is based on Star Trek, so you'll have to let me know all the details if you know kind of what this represents, but I bought it because I love the color story. Now, I will say that I have had good and bad experiences with Adept Cosmetics. 95% good. There was one palette I was really disappointed in. It kind of tainted my view of the brand, but then I bought their Amy Loves collection and absolutely loved it. The blush palette and the eyeshadow palette were the amazing Adept quality that I expected. So when this was released and it was a color story that spoke to me, I had to pick it up. Love the packaging, absolutely beautiful. It's kind of this rainbow iridescent pattern with butterflies and flowers and just these swirly designs. And it is kind of like a plasticky, leathery type of material. It does have a full mirror inside, and the color story is stunning. We have two full rows of beautiful shimmer shades, including these two marbled shades that actually, when you swatch them, they're beautiful. All of those colors just translate in the swatches. You could go into just little corners if you wanted this specific color, but dipping your finger or your brush in and swirling all those shades on the lid, we're definitely going to do that. They swatched beautifully. All of the shimmers were really nice, very buttery, very pigmented, very soft and foiled. Love that there's multi-chromes, duochromes, and then just really beautiful sparkly shimmers in here. And then the bottom row is mattes. So we have a light pink, kind of a cool toned brown with a bit of a purple tint to it. This beautiful kind of pinky purple, a blue, and a deep purple. Now, in the palette that disappointed me a little bit from Adept, it was the mattes that were the issue. Adept nails their shimmers, and most of their palettes are pretty shimmer forward. I mean, this one we have 10 shimmers and 5 mattes, so this is definitely a shimmer forward palette. But I'm excited to see how these mattes perform on the eyes because they actually swatched really good. Like, they swatched really beautifully. I didn't have any issue with the swatches, but we know that that only tells a portion of the story. It depends on how they translate on the eyes. So I'm really excited to test this out. I did use a discount code when I purchased the palette. I believe it is $75, and then I do have a 10% discount code. I'll put all the information down below for you. As of the filming of this video, this palette is available. This is limited edition. It will not be restocked. So if you're interested, grab it. So if you're excited to see me create a look with the Legand of Ardra palette from Adept Cosmetics, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on, because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, again, I'll link the palette, the discount information for you, as well as my favorite beauty subscription boxes, all of the makeup that I'm wearing in today's video if you would like to recreate this look, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. Let me zoom you in and let's create an eye look. So overall, yes, this is a colorful palette, but there is quite a few options for a little bit more neutral. So this pink shade and this brown shade, along with some of these taupey brown shimmers, even the pink shimmers, can create a neutral look. Or if you want to go full on color, you've got all these beautiful colorful mattes, and then again, these kind of swirled painted looking shimmers. We're definitely using this one at the top called 2367. That is so beautiful. Actually, they're both beautiful, but as soon as I swatched that, I knew that one had to go on my lids. So let me prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. This is what I always use to prime my eyes, and we'll get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the shade here called 1000 Years. It's kind of that pinky purple leaning matte, and I'm going to pop that in my crease. Wow, this is already a lot better than that one palette as far as pigmentation goes. And I'm going to, again, pop it in my crease, bring it a little bit above my crease. I do have slightly hooded eyes, and I want to be able to see 1000 Years pop out above my crease. So that applied really nicely, thank goodness. Thank goodness, that's a fantastic matte. I was able to diffuse it out, blend it out in my crease. It's pigmented, beautiful. Oh, I'm already relieved. To deepen up my outer corner, I'm going to use the dark purple matte called Myth. And I'm just going to pop that on the outer portion of my lid. Now, purples can be hard to formulate. They can be pretty patchy. They can be a little less desirable in the pigment. So I'm excited to see how this applies and layers over our pink matte. Okay, Adept, okay, that's looking really good. We are not patchy. It's layering beautifully over 1,000 years, the pink matte in our crease. That layered beautifully. It's a beautiful purple matte. I'm going to go back into 1,000 years and just, again, use that to just blend and diffuse out those edges. As always, I'll be using my NYX glitter glue on my lid. I'm so excited to test out these kind of painted, swirly designed shimmers. So as always, I want to pick one shimmer up with my finger, one with a brush. I want to show you different application methods, and we're going with 2, 3, 6, 7. This is so beautiful. Look at that. It's so shifty, and really this is a one and done shimmer because it's a multi-chrome and it has all of those beautiful shades. Swiping this on the lid is really all that you need to do. You could pop one simple matte in the crease. You could even do an all shimmer look with the multi-chrome. I can't wait. So we're actually going to apply that on our lid. Ho, ho, ho. Wow. And I'm placing that on the outer about 3/4, almost like 80% of my lid. I'm just leaving the little bit of the inner corner open for one of the other shimmers. And like I said, because this is such a pretty kind of shifty multi-chrome, it's literally a swipe one and done shimmer, but we have to be a little extra. We also want to test out as much as we can in the palette. I want to give you the most thorough review. So I'm going to limit this gorgeous shade to about the outer 3/4 of my lid. And then with a brush, I'm picking up the shade Imposter. It's another multi-chrome. It looks like it shifts from silver to pink. It's beautiful. I mean, like I said, all the shimmers are so beautiful. And I'm picking that up on a nice dense brush, and we're going to pop that on that space we left open from that multi-chrome. Okay, this is beautiful. This is very, very pink leaning. Really pretty. Does have that little bit of a silver shift. It is applying really nicely with a brush, but like I always say with Adept shimmers or these really wet foil types of shimmers, I think they apply a little bit better with the finger, but you can definitely use a brush. You can see that that went on beautifully. I'm going to pick up the matte piece, which is that kind of blurple periwinkle matte, and I'm going to buff that on my lower lash line. That matte is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to use that matte on my lid and in my crease. It's so pretty. And that again went on really nicely. So we've used 3 mattes in the palette. The only ones I didn't use is the light pink and the brown, but these all performed beautifully. And like I said, the relief is real. And then this other kind of swirly shade, I'm going to focus my brush right in the corner where that deep kind of cobalt blue is. I can't wait to put that shade all over my lid too. And I'm actually going to buff that on top of the shade piece on the lower lash line. And that just added even more cobalt blue to it, diffused it out, smoked it out. That shimmer on its own is beautiful. Like I said, if you mix it all together, it is going to be another one of those swipe on the lid, be done, which again, the next eye look I do will be using that shade. Oh, and that shade is called Mendora. And then for inner corner highlight, I'm going to pick up the shade Viaxin Scholar. It's this kind of multi-chrome here that shifts from pink to green to blue. I think it's just going to pair beautifully with my mattes and shimmers. Ooh, this is a wet one. Be really careful getting your brush into that. It's one of those really kind of wet foiled shimmers. And I'm going to pop that on my inner corner. Now that's even more pink than I expected. It does have a little bit of a purple, it does have a little bit of a peach vibe to it. Beautiful inner corner highlight. I mean, you have multiple options. You could go with this shade here called Folklore. You could go with Ventrax. You could go with Planetary Tremor. I mean, oh, you could even go this gold contract of Ardra. So many different options for inner corner highlight, but I think this pairs beautifully with my eye look. So let me go ahead and do some liner, mascara, a lippy, do something with my hair, get dressed for the day, and I'll be back to share my first impression thoughts on the Adept Cosmetics Legend of Ardra palette. So here is the final look for today using the Adept Cosmetics Legend of Ardra palette. I have to say I'm quite impressed with the palette. I love everything from the outside packaging. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Love the color story, and I'm so relieved, like I said multiple times in the video, how well this performed. The mattes performed beautifully. The shimmers perform beautifully. I'm so thankful and grateful because this is a pricey palette. $75 is a lot of money for an eyeshadow palette. Even with the discount, it's still very, very expensive. So in my opinion, the shimmers have to perform and the mattes have to perform, and they definitely do in this palette. The shimmers are the amazing Adept quality. I love these two kind of, like I said, painted swirly shimmers. The one on my lid is absolutely spectacular. I mean, something very different to my collection. If you have a lot of eyeshadow palettes like me, you have a lot of the Adept palettes, I really like that those two are very different. And then again, they gave us multi-chromes, duochromes, sparkly, beautiful foiled shimmers. Love them. And the mattes, the three mattes that I use, which in my opinion would be the hardest to formulate, the purples, the blurples, the brown swatched really nicely. And again, it is kind of like a cool tone purpley brown. And these lighter mattes, everything just swatched really nice. And the three that I used performed beautifully. I think my eye look is so unique and different. Something that would draw your, it's so unique and different. It's absolutely so much fun to create with this palette. And I cannot wait to put this shade, what was that, Mendora, all over my lid, that other sparkly painted swirly shade. It's just such a fun palette. It makes me excited to use it, and that's what I appreciate in an eyeshadow palette, aside from the quality, which both of those are in this Adept palette. So I definitely am glad that I have this in my collection. I can't wait to keep using it more. Let me know down below, did you pick up the palette? What do you think about it? What do you think of my looks? Let me know everything down below. And of course, I will link the palette in the description box with the discount code. Again, it is limited edition. So I believe once it sells out, there will not be a restock. So all of the information will be down below for you, as well as all of the other makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. If you would like to recreate this look, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. Thank you, Adept, for an amazing, amazing palette.